Give her one foul, just to tell her it's one now. How come? I need rest, no recess on my schedule. Right. Mama used to serve vegetables, now half the meals got tentacles. Right. Half the Emirates need a reservation and half my money goes straight to taxes. But I don't trip about it, that's what happens when you got dreams closer than a mattress. Plus all your boys got expensive habits. Go. I know what they're thinking, they don't even gotta say it. Nope. They thinking they just made it. I know how to make everybody feel famous. I don't gotta work no day shift. I don't gotta split no payment. I don't gotta answer questions. Right. And I don't need you to okay it. Yeah. Okay. 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay. I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay. All my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay. So when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gon' want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pounds. Somebody gon' want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. They can't take it to 10. Hey.
We have a cold night in the Northeast. A bad evening to be without a parka, but we are set for football at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. On 1st and 10, Darnold. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. That one good for 37 yards. Well, there's a pretty big start right there. They go bombs away on the first play from scrimmage.
Put a smile on your face, didn't it? Not because you're rooting for anyone, but that's the way to begin a game, to put someone back on their heels and announce that they plan to be aggressive.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
We're going to Mike 52. Now watch one. Lady. Switch. Undercut.
Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow. Up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
We're going to sign. Right here, over there, right? 52's the mic. Let's get in, young lady. It's our time. Slay.
They'll try and run for it with Bell. able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs. It gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
Who there? Who there? Man left, man left. 4 down, 4 down. Lady. 152.
On first down, Darnold going to throw deep for the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Granted, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
It's going to be a long day, offense. It's going to be a long day. 25, check 25, check 25. Check 50, check 50.
Darnold now to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. Jerome Baker right there in coverage. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Darnold. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Charles Harris in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
Here we go, here we go. 15 runner, 15 runner. 54, 54. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Ready?
He'll look to throw. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. The safety, Jamal Adams, able to break that one up.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. He completes it to Jones. It'll be a gain of 9, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They're going to look to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
You ain't doing nothing today. Check 99. Check 99.
Running right, Jones. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They'll try the left side. Hankins. And he winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Ready. Rip left. Rip left.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Let him know. Kill. Back.
Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brendan, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Here we go, son. Hey, lady. We own them. Check the backer. Shift.
3rd and 2, Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Joseph came roaring in on the safety blitz.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Well, that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
At the 31-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's McGee. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll set up to throw. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense. Just flooded the field with defensive backs. Blanketed everyone. Took away all the passing angles. Thus, the incompletion.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 16. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some. Here we go, here we go. Lady, 26. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Here's Darnold. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Jerome Baker right there in coverage. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball.
It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
Mike 52. Mike 52. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Jerome Baker right there in coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
On second down now. It's Jones, and he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On play action, they'll throw. Going deep here for Parker. He's got it at the 15. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Devontae Parker, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so
well.
something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
I got you.
Here's Darnold. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Jerome Baker right there in coverage.
Incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 10.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now a draw play. This is Bell. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Here's the Jets punter now. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports.
Dolphins 10, Jets 3.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at the 20. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, It's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 43. After the interception, here's Darnold. This one caught by Crowder. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
That's going to be a long day. 49. Ready? Check 49.
To throw is Darnold. On the catch, it's Crowder. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. Give them 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Mike back two. Let's go, D. Check 4. Red 80. Red 80.
Darnold on first down. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Back to the air, Darnold on 2nd down. Gets this one to Hill. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
The Jets on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Darnold to throw again. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 22-yard line.
3rd and 4 is always a tough call. Maybe a little too long to run for it, but not too long to hit him on the quick slant. And that was well executed. Found the window and zipped it right in there.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. And this is going to be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Touchdown, defense. Hey, watch it, watch it.
Back to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's McGee. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Here we go again. Wall, get wall. Big ass. Whip. Watch the whip.
He'll look to throw. He sets up the screen to Jones. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Well, the screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game. I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can it's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Check 24, check 24. Check 3, check 3, check 3.
The first run for the backup of Abdullah. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Jet first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Check. Check hot route. Hot.
On first down, it's Perez. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Check.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The Jets on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Set the tone, defense.
Darnold from the gun. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Here's the Jets punter now. He's been terrific so far. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Second and 5. Got his man complete over the middle. It's McGee. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
An 8-yard pickup. First down, Miami.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Now a first down carry by Jones. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they do.
Now left side on the swing pass. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for 2nd down. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long.
Hey, we got Mike, number 53.
2nd and long. Throw left side complete. That's McGee. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on...
Under pressure now, Darnold, and he goes down. Charles Harris able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
That's it, baby. We go work.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
27-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. He's coming. He's coming. It's free.
Here's 2nd and 8. He's going to let one go deep for Parker. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Shoot. Watch twist.
A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Red 80. Check out.
Out of the shotgun, it's Bell. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Off off of play action. Darnold throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
On 2nd and 10, Darnold throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking to hit his running back, Le'Veon Bell, that time. 3rd down here.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. Here's the Jets punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Taken in at the 11. He spins free. 12 yards on the return that time.
Let's go! Let's go! At their own 22-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
They'll run on 1st down. Hankins. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. The tackle there by Brian Poole.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
So that'll back him up 5.
Ready? Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. And the hard count got the defense there. Encroachment. And the 5-yard penalty.
Let's go now. 3, 60 outlaw. Mike. Target, 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 target.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So we've got it. Encroachment, and that's a free 5 yards.
Too easy for the offense. A bit of impatience by the defense on that one.
Here we go. Now the roof. Hey, let's get some penetration here. Let's get some penetration.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
Check 53.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Had to pass there. 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Fielded at about the 28. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline.
That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Robbie Anderson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys are back within a single score. Greg Joseph on for the extra point. And it's up through the goalposts. It's 17-10. Joseph now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, and that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. It'll be a loss of 7 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. They'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10.
I'm coming. Tight dog. Watch the twist. Watch the twist. My 52. I'm coming.
Now Darnold. That one complete to Hill. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Jet first down. Darnold now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Under 10.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Watch the screen. Lady. My 55.
The play fake, and it's Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Christian Wilkins busting through to get him for a loss of 6. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Check 3, check red 80. Hey, check 24. Watch 24.
Third and long, it's Darnold. Being chased out left. Big hold of the 30. A big pickup, 18 yards, but they still stop him well short of the marker.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And this will be taken at the 13. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 26-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. 2nd and 9 now. Jones has it. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Back to throw here. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Ready? Pick me up. Here we go. Patch it.
2nd and 3. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 34-yard line.
A gain of 18 on the play. First down, Miami.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 34. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Dolphin football. It's also Dolphin lead to begin quarter number 4. On first down, Hankins. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Now back to throw. And this is caught. It's Parker. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 19. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
They're enjoying a fourth-quarter advantage. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the fourth quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. A shotgun snap for Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Charles Harris in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out. Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack.
You ain't got nothing. Watch the edge. Sponge. No.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And take it right at the 35. We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. work on positioning the football and helping their team.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Charles Harris make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he can vault himself right into the #1 spot.
From his end zone, 3rd and long for Darnold. He's going to air one out for him. He's got a man, complete. He's at the 40, past the 20. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Down in this one, they needed that score, but they'll have to hold at least for the time being.
You're exactly right. Points that they had to have. As you said, they have to regroup now and see if they can get them another way.
So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. And he fields it cleanly. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 29-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Ryan Kerrigan, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
3rd and 15.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
Let's go! At their own 17-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Jet first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Back to throw, Darnold. And going deep for Hill. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Looking to erase a 2-score deficit here in the fourth quarter, going for some big plays.
Yeah, they certainly were. They just decided one shot, didn't they? Forget trying to move the ball downfield in small little increments. Let's go for the big one. But how about the defense playing situational football, looking at the scoreboard and realizing what can hurt us most? The deep shot. They played it well.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Darnold now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Charles Harris, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance. Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack.
Check.
Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. He's going to air one out for Anderson. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They snap it. They're going for it. Here's Darnold. And that is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. Hankins, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
They'll go again to Jones. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. And now a timeout taken here defensively with 2:07 remaining. So they'll also have the stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will give them a 12-point lead. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still 8 up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Here's Darnold. That's complete. It's Bell. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. fourth from the gun. Now a desperation throw deep down, and this will be caught at the 30. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Jamison Crowder, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are back within a single score.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Point after, right down the middle. So they got one of the two touchdowns they needed. Now for the onside kick. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. And the Dolphins are going to recover. And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3-and-out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Again, it's Jones. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off. I think they're just a product of trying to buy themselves 5 extra yards.
Yeah, they want to help their punter out, right? Help with the angle, trying to pin the ball deep. That's exactly what they did there.
He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. So well done there, and these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do, and now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
And got his man complete. The 20. And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the fourth quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. And this is caught. And it's a 3-point game. So that effort gives them a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
That's fielded in the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one. Whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37.
The Jets take over first and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game. Although it looks good, you know the coaches, they haven't counted this as a victory yet.
I agree with you totally. Big applause for the defense, but no one is taking their headset off on the sidelines. They don't believe this game is over. The offense has to close this one out by taking care of the football.
And they'll try to close it out now. So it's a victory here for the New York Jets, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made.